Now, after an overall score of some MMDAs in the country, we have seen how Tama has received the applause for doing very well, as well as some other areas. Now, however, there have been some assessments done by the National Development Planning Commission, and after their monitoring and evaluation of some metropolitan and municipal and district assemblies, which we all know for short as the MMDAs, they have seen that there has been a little deviation in some of the implementation of the development plans that have been assigned to them. So they have come out of a warning to these MMDAs to continue to implement the projects that are in accordance with the national plans, and not to do any selfish follow any selfish ambitions. Now, um, according to the NDPC, many plans have been implemented in the districts, and according to what they have seen, there has been a little deviation from the vision, the main vision of the president and the government that has been given to some of the MMDAs. For them, they have noticed that this was going on little by little, and they had to send out a warning now before it became too great. Now, the Director General of the NDPC, Dr. Kujo Isiam Mensa Ibrampa, he said this after the commission was monitoring some particular MMDAs. He was also addressed this at the National Medium Term Development Program, and he revealed that there has been some movement away from the plan that the government gave to some of these MMDAs. Also, according to him, many of the MMDAs have been embarking on like their own development agenda. So when they receive some funds, instead of going ahead to do what those funds were for, they'll be going ahead to build boreholes and then maintaining some infrastructure that was not part of the plans and the projects that were assigned to them. And also, he also noticed that the national agenda had a main focus on creating some jobs and enhancing incomes for better living conditions, but when they checked, the MMDAs were using it to do other things and were not following these initiatives at all. Um, there's a suspicion that some people are doing this because they don't want to use all of the funds for those projects, so that they can get their own to pocket, and also they can go ahead to do the ones that they feel are necessary to them. And according to the NDPC, if they don't put a stop to those acts, they will be booked, because to them it was more or less of fraudery. Since they were trying to find ways to make it look like they were doing the right things, but they were doing the things that were not called to them to do. So he went ahead to point some things that were uncalled and were not unnecessary for some of these MMDAs to be doing. And they also promised to continue with their evaluation and their monitoring. They claim that they are going to monitor even more than us. So, for those MMDAs who think they could continue to do anything they please, one of these days they would be stopped from going any further. Um, Also, there was also a look at some of the occasions where there was a launch of the district league table. This one also was developed by the NDPC. Yeah, they did this in collaboration with the GSS, which is an abbreviation for the Ghana Statistical Service. And also, the United Nations had a hand in it. They were doing this to serve as a tool for tracking national development and highlighting some of the districts that are performing well, as well as those which are not doing well in terms of the populations and of the resources that have been given to them. So the focus here is to sort of tabulate the percentages of the growth and development in these areas, so that when they see the areas that are doing very well, they give them the necessary resources they need to do better. And also, when they notice the areas that are not doing well, they are going to tackle those problematic areas and focus more on those places to keep them from being crippled. This is a good thing when you look at the way they are going to focus on the monitoring. Is going to keep some people on their toes and prevent this laid back attitude, this I don't care like attitude, this procrastinating attitude, and all of the types of uncalled attitudes that keep these types of projects from going on the way they are supposed to. So with all of these plans in place, they've noticed that some were deviating. This is where the notice came on, and so they plan on continuing with the monitoring. Now you know that the medium-term national development planning policy, the framework for this one, it started 2018 to 2021. It sought to create jobs. For those of you who know the MTNDPF, the Medium Term National Development Planning Policy Framework, its aim was to create jobs. And from 2018 to 2021, they've been working at transforming the economy, modernizing agriculture to be like those of the very developed world, and also making social projects very relevant to the nation. They were also looking at enhancing governance as well as managing well some projects and programs in the nation. Now, according to him, it was obvious that the national framework and the coordinating programs were meant for those in Accra, because he was seeing more of their dwelling in the city areas. But he was not too happy about it, because he said they are breaking the others because they are focusing only on the city. So it's like they are pursuing and enhancing, you know, some resources in Accra, and yet they are neglecting those at other levels. And because of this, the whole nation will not benefit. And the level of job creation would sort of squeeze to one end, and one other end will be suffering from unemployment. Now, he was also unhappy that there were some areas that were only making progress with things like boreholes and the like, compounds and building public toilets, and some public squares and some public toilets facilities. And he was unhappy about the fact that these were the only things that they were majoring on. Now, he was urging some of the officers to move from the business as usual type of work to work harder, to do what they could to make things rapid and more fruitful in their districts. So he was hoping that by the end of 2025, there was going to be a way greater outcome of all these plans that are being put in place. So from now to 2025 should be like 4 years, and that's enough time for a lot of things to be done in Ghana. Now, we also looked at some of the risks and some potential things that were bound to happen in all of these projects, and Dr. Mensa Abrampa noted that the location of the central region between Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi has sort of put the region at a potential advantage. That if they are able to make very good use of the resources and all these plans that are being put in place. So the central region should also be focused on, and hopefully their potential will be properly explored. He was hoping that the central region will get more growth and prosperity, because they are in the middle of this what we know as the triangle cities, which is Accra, Kumasi, and Accra. When you look on the Ghana map, you notice that they form a triangle, and these are the three main areas where civilization and all of this innovation goes on in the nation. Now, he also said that it could be risky for the central region if they don't properly explore and urge those in their region to do well, to follow suit and to develop things in the central region. Taking note of some stakeholders who need to work harder to move the region to the next level. So he was hoping that, according to him, if the people in the central region are happy and are satisfied with what they see around them, they may make the mistake of being too used to what they are seeing, and then the next thing you know is that they have been left behind. So this is what the Mr. Brampa was speaking about. He looked also into some of the participants who were not pursuing their plans to satisfy their individual district. Instead, they were looking at what they could do to satisfy their own egos and their own needs. He was pointing to the fact that it wasn't very economically suitable. He wants a strict implementation of the medium-term national development policy framework to go on like they have planned to. Yeah, so he was asking for actions to be taken for efforts to move some regions as well as the central region forward when it comes to development and all these projects that have been put in place. Also, he was saying that the central regional minister should do her best to enforce, some works and to put behind them complacency in the region. The central regional minister, who is Mrs. Justina Marigold Asan, followed suit by urging her officers, to avoid those complacency and those laid-back attitudes towards work, so that they could get more creation of jobs available in the communities and in the region as a whole, and hopefully this was going to accelerate the region's growth and prosperity. Because if you've been to the central region, it's a nice place. We've been to Cape Coast and all those areas. It's a nice place, and they have a lot of good things to look at. But the thing is, they don't want them to stick with that at that level, so that before you realize it, other regions have overtaken them, and they are still behind in what they've had for a while now. So I can get where the NDPC bosses are coming from. So the Central Regional Minister, Mrs. Justina Marigold, went ahead to advise the public servants in the region to renew their commitment so that they could build more prosperous communities in the region and have a lot of things working for them than before. But in the meantime, the NDPC is repeating the fact that they are going to be monitoring strictly all those districts who have been given funds and who have been given resources to undertake projects. They want to stress the fact that they will be liable to book if they go against that which they've been given to do. So that's it. Let's see if they'll follow through with what they are saying, and if people are going to be brought to the law for going wayward with the plans that the government and all these institutions have come together to bring to cause. Okay, so let us see what you think about the deviation. In a way, the people were explaining that they thought those things they pursued were more important than what the government gave them. But hey, they have their reasons, and other people do have their reasons too. So let's see your comments in the comment section below. What you think about the these municipal district assemblies and all this things going on, and also give us your view about the NDPC charging them to go ahead, and there are strict monitoring that they are going to be going on about. Let us see your comments in the section below. Thank you for participating and have a nice day.